The college basketball season is almost here. In this video from Bet on Hoops, we will give our preseason top 10 rankings for the 2025 through 2026 season. We've got returning champions, powerhouse rebuilds, and a few surprises that are ready to shake up March Madness. From Purdue to Texas Tech, these teams have the talent, the depth, and the storylines to dominate the college hoops season. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Bet on Hoops, because we are dropping deep dive team previews and player spotlights all season long. Starting at number 10, the Texas Tech Red Raiders. The Texas Tech Red Raiders are back among the college basketball's national elite. In just 2 short years, Grant McCasland has transformed Texas Tech from a rebuild into a Final Four contender. Last season, the Red Raiders finished 28-9, reached the Elite Eight, and came just 1 game shy of the Final Four. McCasland's resume speaks for itself: a national title at the junior college level, Division II Elite Eights, and an NIT championship at North Texas. And now he's building something special in Lubbock. At Texas Tech, the foundation starts with J.T. Toppin, the reigning Big 12 Player of the Year. Toppin averaged a double-double, dominated March, and even hit the overtime game winner against Arkansas in the Sweet 16. Look for Toppin to have improved as a playmaker and a perimeter creator. Add in Christian Anderson, the breakout sophomore guard who surged late last season, and you've got one of the most dynamic inside-out duos in the Big 12. Coach McCasland is rolling with just 10 scholarship players, but every one of them are tough, disciplined, and team first. McCasland's squad is known for their defense, chemistry, and relentless effort. These are the traits that carried Texas Tech to the Elite Eight. J.T. Toppin might be the most complete big man in America, and this roster has the shooters, the system, and the swagger to make another Elite Eight or even better. Keep your eyes on the Red Raiders. Texas Tech is for real. At number 9, we have the Kentucky Wildcats. Mark Pope didn't just take the job, he reignited the program's identity. A former Wildcat himself, Pope has brought back the blue-collar work ethic and modern spacing that made Kentucky basketball a national brand. Last season was a reboot year. Now the foundation is set, and the pieces are in place for Kentucky to contend again on the national stage. At Kentucky, it all starts with Otega Oweh, the 6'4" senior guard, who transferred from Oklahoma and instantly became Kentucky's alpha on both ends of the floor. He averaged 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals per game last season, and was the heart of their defensive identity. Oweh's leadership and two-way motor make him the cornerstone of the Pope era. And then there's Jasper Johnson, a 5-star freshman from Kentucky who turned down G League money to play for his home state school. He's a smooth scorer with deep range and pro instincts, already drawing lottery buzz. Pope's system is all about spacing, movement, and modern offense. Think 5-out spacing and constant cutting to create driving lanes for players like Oweh and Johnson. But make no mistake, this team's foundation is defense. Kentucky finished top 15 in adjusted defensive efficiency and was one of the best rebounding teams in the SEC. Pope has brought back the grit and accountability that Big Blue fans demand, and that makes this group dangerous in March. At number 8, the Duke Blue Devils. John Shire's Duke Blue Devils reload with one of the best recruiting classes in program history. Leading the way, Cameron Boozer, already the ACC's Preseason Player of the Year, and Isaiah Evans, a returning All-ACC talent. Duke is once again young, fast, and ridiculously skilled, capable of leading the ACC in both scoring and defense. Next up, at number 7, we have the BYU Cougars. And what a transformation it's been under Coach Kevin Young. In his very first season, Young led BYU to a 26-10 record, a Sweet 16 appearance, and the most wins ever by a first-year head coach in program history. The former NBA assistant brought a professional-level offensive system to college basketball, and it's working. His formula, spacing, pace, and precision. BYU has officially arrived as a Big 12 powerhouse. The Cougars are led by two returning stars. Richie Saunders, the heart and soul of this team, is first-team All-Big 12 and last year's most improved player. Returns to lead BYU in scoring and leadership. And providing the muscle down low is Keba Keita, the big man who set program records for field goal percentage and offensive rebounds. Keita averaged nearly 8 boards per game and is poised for a breakout senior season. These two form one of the most balanced inside-out combinations in the Big 12. Kevin Young's coaching styles feel straight out of the NBA, and that's because it is. He's all about spacing the floor, sharing the ball, and creating mismatches. Translation, this roster is built for both the present and the future. With NBA-ready talent and elite coaching, BYU has the tools to compete for a conference title and make a Final Four push. At number 6, the Michigan Wolverines. Under Dusty May, Michigan basketball feels like Michigan basketball again. First-team All-American Yaxel Lindeborg headlines the front court. The Wolverines have balance, leadership, and a top 15 efficiency on both ends of the floor. Look out for the Michigan Wolverines this season. At number 5, we travel to the Big Apple, and that is where we find the St. John's Red Storm. New York City basketball is alive again, and Rick Pitino is the reason. St. John's is coming off a 31-win season and brings back Zuby Ejiofor, the Big East Player of the Year, to anchor a loaded front court. Pitino retools with Bryce Hopkins and new shooters to keep the offense rolling. Expect chaos, full court pressure, tempo, and a possible championship run. At number 4 are the UConn Huskies. UConn is back in the hunt for a third title in 5 years. Dan Hurley's Huskies bring in elite recruits like Braylon Mullins and Eric Raba, blending youth with veterans such as Alex Caravan. The Huskies are still physical, still deep, and still very dangerous. Expect another top Big East finish and a deep March run from a team that is used to being there when all said and done. Next, at number 3, the Florida Gators. The defending champs are right where they belong, near the top of the preseason standings. Head coach Todd Golden returns a reloaded roster with elite front court depth and the addition of Boogie Fland, one of the nation's most dynamic young guards. Florida's front line is the deepest and most physical in the country. Their mix of championship experience and 5-star newcomers make them a legitimate threat to repeat. At number 2, the Houston Cougars. Last year's runner-up is hungry for redemption. Kelvin Sampson's Cougars bring back 3 starters and add McDonald's All-American Chris Sanak Jr., a 6'10 defensive monster with a 7'4" wingspan. Veterans Emmanuel Sharp and JoJo Tugler give Houston its trademark toughness, a blend of grit, defense, and rebounding that defines Cougar basketball. And if this team stays healthy, they could cut down the nets this time around. And for the number 1 team that tops our top 10 list of preseason rankings are the Purdue Boilermakers. For Purdue, there's only one goal: to win the national title and do it right at home in Indiana. Veteran stars like Braden Smith, Trey Kaufman-Wren, and Fletcher Loyer headline one of the most experienced rosters in college basketball. Head coach Matt Painter brings back 4 starters and adds key transfers like Oscar Clough. After years of heartbreak, the Boilermakers are deeper, more balanced, and fully locked in for the national championship run at Lucas Oil Stadium. So there you have it. The Bet on Hoops 2025-2026 preseason top 10. Florida's defending the crown, Purdue's chasing history, and BYU is predicted to be in the mix. Which of these powerhouse programs do you think will cut down the nets next April? Drop your predictions in the comments below, smash that like button, and subscribe to Bet on Hoops for all your basketball content. This is Bet on Hoops, where passion meets prediction, and the road to March starts right here.